if you kill my brother, I must revenge. Ukhora. The Africans insist for full accountability. In other words, they still believe in the Old Testament. Now, then you come to the issue of bail. Bail. That one is really a mistake. I can tell you we are really fed up. Because the Banyankuru say, Areireyo yagarka. Areireyo yagarka. Finished. They are finished with you once they say that. Areireyo yagarka. He spent there one night and came back to the village. But the one who stole our pigs, our what? And yet, you know our concept. Akabokaiba, kaihurumugongo gwao. The dog that steals pays with its back. Akabakabi kagumya mugongo. That's what the Baganda say. So now here, this is really provocative. I can tell you it's known, it should stop. Bail. The only time you can make sense with bail is if, even for small things like stealing in the village, for village harmony, unless the case is not ready for trial. In the CA, we the Bush people got in touch with the westernized people, the lawyers who had studied in the Western system. And we tried to harmonize a minimum consensus, peacefully, not by fighting, but by negotiating and compromising so that we move forward. Now, coming to other concepts, there are so many concepts that the modern court system pushes, which we don't agree with, but peacefully we comply, because the African societies are very strict with the justice. Really, we need to clearly sort out our thinking on this issue of justice that our people understand. And in some ways, it is linked with the level of development also. Because if you say prison sentence, if I am a lumpen, not employed, even if putting me to prison actually is a solution. I was having no food, I now have food. Me, if you put me, the lawyer, private practice, if you put him in jail, yes, what they call in economics opportunity cost, what he loses is a lot. So prison to him is a scare. Because if I go to prison, I'm a businessman, I am a lawyer, I will lose so much, so I fear prison. But a lumpen, it doesn't fear prison. Prison may even be better than, but this is very dangerous because you see the military courts are for two purposes. Purpose number one is to keep the army clean. It is in a house to keep the army clean. Now, if you are going to outsource, If you're going to outsource somebody rapes, then you go to take him to civilian court, then he's here. Even the time. What is the problem? Why is he tried here for rape, for all cases, as long as he's a soldier? And then if he wants to appeal, he can go and appeal, but having been primarily being handled here initially. So that one was, in my view, is wrong. It will undermine the discipline of the army. But also, the other one where we say that even if you are not a soldier, but you acquire guns, we treat you as if you are a soldier. It is also correct. And it's very useful for, the CJ knows how much my people have suffered in Agago, Alepton, Olilim, East Lango, East Acholi, Teso, this Kapchorwa, even Bugisu, because of the cattle raiders. Now, these young children, these young Karachuna, the field court martial 100, not field, court martial 100 of them. There are 3,000 of them in jail now. 3,000. If you go to Kitaria, I hear there are 900 of them. Now, this was good for the area. They were got out of saturation. But also good for them, for the Karachuna. Why would anybody say to be tried in a military court is wrong? So that's why the CJ ruled where he said, no, it can be done, but the court itself, the military court, should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to have fair. He went back to the constitution, and we are very happy with that. This was correct. We didn't know those gaps. Me, I didn't know. I thought there were no gaps. I didn't even know that somebody had removed the appeal had changed the military court from being a subordinate court to being a parallel court, because apparently somebody had made amendments saying that their decision was not appealable. That's not correct. Let it be initial center of handling the matter because of efficiency and focus, because they are focused. They are focusing on the discipline of the army, but also on the misuse of guns and weapons normally belonging to the army. So they are a bit focused. Why don't you allow them to focus? And then if somebody is not satisfied, he can appeal to the superior courts. For us, we don't see anything wrong with that.
The Ugandan state is really, as the Bible says, a rope of 3 strands: the parliament, the judiciary, and the executive, which you head, Your Excellency. A few weeks ago, the judiciary gave us a stark reminder of the delicate balance between the security of the state and the imperative to uphold the civil liberties of citizens. As a member of the executive, I'm aware of the foundational responsibility of the state, which is to protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country, to ensure law and order among citizens, to enact the laws governing society. Having a constitution we all respect helps to settle political questions. It was therefore important that within the first 10 years of your administration, a new constitution was ushered in to provide a framework for settling political questions. After all, the economic ruins that greeted you in 1986 were a direct result of a failure to amicably resolve political questions. The 1995 Constitution was thus a necessary precondition for putting Uganda on a trajectory of recovery. That recovery gradually led to growth and now development, which allows the government to inject at least R1 trillion annually of locally generated revenue to support citizens through PDM. We look up to them, but they also have responsibilities. Many people talk about judicial accountability, judicial independence, but there is also judicial responsibility. The Constitution of Uganda states that the judiciary exercises judicial power in the name of the people. It is our expectation that the national interest will continue guiding all of us, and that we shall have a sense of perspective. To the Kabonas, I want to promise that our duty is to protect you from our politics, because the solution to our political problems are actually not with you. They are outside the judiciary. It is important that the Mkuu wa Boma, the head of the tribes, leads us to resolve our political quarrels in the homestead amicably, so that you focus on the real disputes of citizens which have nothing to do with the struggle for power.